Hey guys, Derek here, Derek's All MMA channel, to do my UFC Fight Night 24 predictions happening this Saturday night. You know, good night of solid fights. They got a bunch of stand-up fights with the exception of the main event, which we'll get into. Should be very interesting. First fight of the night, the rematch, the most anticipated rematch for Leonard Garcia and the Korean Zombie. Originally supposed to be a rematch with it being Leonard Garcia and Nan Fan. Nan Fan had to pull out due to the injury, so we get Korean Zombie, Leonard Garcia. You know, the first matchup, it was, just these guys just throwing away at each other. And I've said this before to the people, Leonard Garcia has won more decisions that he should have not won than any fighter in MMA history I can think of. But the reason he wins fights and the reason why judges tend his way, because he stays active. He's continuing throwing. He's always pushing the pace. He never backs up. And, the Korean Zombie in that first fight landed so many more shots than Garcia. So basically, and he stayed going forward. So, Roddy Garcia winning. It's kind of a strange fight when you look back on it. But my prediction on this fight is going to be, I think we're going to see the same thing. You're going to see Garcia pushing the pace, Korean Zombie pushing the pace. And at the end of the day, I think Garcia just hits so much. He hits harder, can take a better punch, and he will land the punch that drops the Korean Zombie down. So I go with Leonard Garcia, first round, knockout. Second fight of the night, Amir Sadal, DeMarcus Johnson. Another fight where I believe it was originally supposed to be Amir Sadal and James Wilkes, and James Wilkes had to pull out the injuries. Now we get Amir Sadal and DeMarcus Johnson. Both of these fighters good in the stand-up. Both of these guys got good jiu-jitsu. I predict this fight will stay on its feet the whole time. And Sadal is a much technical striker and much more technical Muay Thai than what DeMarcus Johnson has. I don't see a problem. I see Amir Sadal winning a very easy decision here. 30-27 across the boards for Amir. Co-main event, Dan the Outlaw Hardy versus Anthony Rumble Johnson. To me, the biggest question of this fight is, does Anthony Johnson make 170? Either way, I think Dan Hardy wins this fight. The only advantage I think Anthony Johnson has is punching power. I think he's got more power. He's a more explosive of an athlete. But technical striking, Dan Hardy's so much better. And guys, I could see, and I'm predicting that this is going to happen, I see Dan Hardy taking Anthony Johnson down a few times. I think that's going to throw people off, but that's a prediction I'm making. Dan Hardy will have at least 2 takedowns in this fight. And I think by then he's going to mix up his strikes. He's actually going to be able to take Johnson down. And I see Anthony Johnson's cardio starting to play because he has horrible cardio. And I see Dan Hardy finishing this fight 3rd round TKO. Main event, Phil Davis, Little Nog. Originally supposed to be Tito Ortiz, Little Nog. I thought that would have been a more interesting matchup. I thought it would have been more closer in styles. But I think Phil Davis should have this fight fairly easily. You look at Lil Nog's last fight against Ryan Bader. He couldn't keep Bader from taking him down. And Phil Davis, in my opinion, is not only a much better wrestler, but a much superior MMA wrestler to what Ryan Bader was. So I see no problem for Phil Davis getting this fight to the ground against Lil Nog. And I don't think he'll get the submission win. I see a lot of laying and praying and moving around. I don't think he can finish Lil Nog on the ground. So my prediction is going to be Phil Davis 30-27 across the board's decision. I just don't see him having any problems getting Lil Nog down to the ground and keeping him there. He's just so much bigger. Let me guys know if you have any disagreements or agreements, anything positive or negative. Just send me a message or make a comment on the video. Looking forward to Saturday night, free night of fights. Take care, guys.